The war is no longer confined to trenches, front lines, or geopolitics. It is now growing, expanding, and bringing the escalation to the verge of World War III. The nations armed with nuclear weapons are the biggest concern over globalization. They are not just posturing nuclear deterrence, but also dragging the war to an uncontrollable escalation. The most recent announcement from Moscow has turned the global attention to a specific spotlight. It's none other than a weapon, but not just a weapon, a message, a signal, or a sign of World War III. This is Oreshnik, which is seen as a panic or the last moment of breathing to the entire NATO alliance and the United States. This isn't just a missile, a symbol, and an evolution of missile technology. It is an IRBM, Russia's intermediate-range ballistic missile, capable of destroying anything ranges up to 8,000 kilometers with nuclear MIRV warheads. In the mid-2025, as the U.S. nuclear submarines, not anything but the giant Ohio class, equipped with 24 Trident II ballistic missiles, began patrolling in the Arctic near the Russian border closer than ever, following the order made by Donald Trump. Russia responded to this move with something special. Russia's message is sharp and clear: if you place nuclear submarines near us, we will respond with something new that you have never seen. We will strike faster than you strike us. But the results of the strike will undoubtedly be tremendous, remarkable, and it will last to the next generations. Talking about the Oreshnik, the bleeding power of the nuclear war. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has officially announced the deployment of the Oreshnik IRBM in Belarus in 2025 to counter movements of not just NATO, but also the United States. President Donald Trump, over the argument with former Russian President Medvedev about the end of Russia-Ukraine war, issued the deployment of the 2 nuclear Ohio-class submarines near the Russian border for monitoring Russia's naval preparation and spying on them. The Ohio class is not just a submarine, a ballistic missile-carrying platform, which can carry 24 Trident II ballistic missiles and target almost anywhere in the world. Capable of reaching up to 12,000 kilometers, the Trident II, with its 14 nuclear MIRV warheads, can destroy any location in the entire Russia, including the most fortified naval base in Siberia. But this is a direct threat to Russia. Russia can utilize Oreshnik on the counter of the submarines. But why Russia chose the Oreshnik? Why not intercontinental ballistic missile? The answer lies in its reliability and flexibility in rigorous condition. Unlike the ICBMs, the Oreshnik can be repositioned anywhere, and it doesn't need any specific places to launch like the RS-28 Sarmat. This allows it to avoid satellite detection while carrying out nuclear strikes. It is mounted on a mobile launching platform, which means it can be positioned anywhere in any hostile environment. The Oreshnik missile is described as a cutting-edge intermediate-range ballistic missile, IRBM, traveling at speeds up to Mach 11, more than 10 times the speed of sound. The missile's multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle configuration allows it to carry 6 warheads, each releasing 6 submunitions or nuclear warheads. This setup gives it the capacity to target multiple sites simultaneously with devastating precision. Within the 5 minutes of launch, the Oreshnik can reach Europe's doorstep with no warning. The entire NATO and the United States may identify it, but the reaction time is painfully short. Even the European and American deployed advanced air defense systems like the Patriot and THAAD's radar may detect the Oreshnik, but it vanishes within the moment of detection, and results are devastating. What happened? The answer: Oreshnik just landed. Belarus, a strategic partner of Russia, has been sheltered with Russia's nuclear umbrella. From Belarus, any European countries or United States can be targeted in case Russia's terrain is in a contested zone. The production of the Oreshnik is on its way, and the strategic deployment in Belarus is set to be at the end of 2025. The first batch of this missile has been handed over the Russian military force. If ever war breaks out with NATO and the United States, they can strike Russia with ballistic missiles like the Trident II, but Russia has the ability to neutralize the intercontinental ballistic missile. But the question is, how can Russia neutralize the ICBMs? Well, Russia has been showcasing throughout decades its anti-ballistic missile system, known as the A-235 Naval. Not just a tool to intercept ICBMs, but an indication and warning to NATO. If you strike Russia, it can knock it out, but the counter-response will be deadly with Oreshnik. Not from any territory in Russian, but from the terrain of Belarus. It has eliminated the need for ICBM, reliable, versatile, and rapid deployment setups that distinguish it from ICBM. The Oreshnik made its combat debut on November 21, 2024, when Russia employed it for the first time targeting the Pivdenmash facility in Dnipro, Ukraine. The Oreshnik didn't carry nuclear warheads, and the strike results were limited, because it utilized submunitions instead of nuclear warheads. But the moment of strike was noticeable. Russia described the Dnipro attack as a warning to the West, after the United States and the United Kingdom permitted Ukraine to fire missiles into Russian territory. If the United States makes any further move closer to Russia's border, this will not only turn uncontrolled escalation, but this will also exceed the fatal escalation of the Cold War, when the US and the Soviet Union almost got involved in the nuclear war. This move won't just deal with Oreshnik, but Russia's silent predator beneath the sea, the nuclear submarines like Bore class. Equipped with 16 RSM-56 Bulava intercontinental ballistic missile, the stealthy Bore class can remain silent beneath the sea, hunting enemy movement. These submarines, although carry less ballistic missiles than the Ohio class, are tailored as hunters to stay underwater more than ever. If the world sees a nuclear war, it can remain underwater until the war has ended while unleashing intercontinental ballistic missiles. If you find this video worth noting, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And thanks for watching.